This time I remember to unmute you guys.
Dan.
Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Runaround. I am Dan, Run Dan Run, and tonight I am joined by not one but two special guests. Please join me in welcoming Lala Carpe Diem and Papa Tom Carpe Diem. Let's flip on over.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi. How's it going, Dan?
It's going all right. How are you guys doing? It's good to see you.
Good. I know. We're just all hanging out.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Nice. It's been a day.
Yeah, it has. Everybody is just running around crazy busy.
Yes. Well, welcome, guys. Welcome to the Runaround. We record this live on Twitch, and then we put it out on... Oh, Tom needs cookies, Clab says. All right. We record this live on Twitch, and we push it over to Spotify. So welcome in, Tom, Lala. What I would like to do, it's very runner themed. We don't have to talk about running, but we start off with what we call the warm up. You know, you warm up with running. We're gonna warm up the crowd here, and I want to give you guys just a couple minutes, kind of tell us about yourselves, tell your story, maybe how you got streaming, as much as you want to kind of share, and we'll kind of dive in from there.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll start it. So we just a little bit about us. We have been married because we are a couple. I'll just start with how long we've been married.
Okay.
We've been married for 38 years. And we have 3 grown children, and all of them, we're very blessed that they have others now. They're all in their 30s at this point. So
Okay.
my youngest just is going to be turning 30 this year. So,
Okay.
and then we've got 3 grandchildren. So we're kind of, been empty nesters for a little bit. And the streaming part, and it's interesting because we've met Dan through a mutual streamer friend. My son Colin was a food and drink streamer. Ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he met Chef John Reed, and they got to be friends. And that's where I actually met Dan and Clab and a whole bunch of other folks in Chef John Reed's stream. And it was really cool. I love community. Tom and I have been, we've been in internet forums since the internet became the internet. You know what I mean? Back in the day when they were like message boards.
Yep.
What we're doing, with chat was the whole of our community engagement. But we had online communities back then, and I have to say, when I joined Twitch, with Colin and then with Chef John, and just met you guys, and it brought back that sense of community, online community that I had back in the day.
Okay.
And so it really did speak to me. So when I've had the time, I actually started by just doing things like kayaking and things like that, things that Tom didn't necessarily want to do with me. And I was like, well, I got some folks that'll come along with me and keep me company. And so I would figure out how to stream. The IRL, I kind of latched onto that pretty early, just because, and Dan, we had a lot of discussions as I was getting going
We did,
with Dan's setup, and how do you make your cameras do this stuff? What do you use to attach stuff to stuff? He's the one who turned me on to snap mounts, and I will be forever grateful.
I love those things.
Yes, that was the key. And it's funny because, Dan, not a lot of people use them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people use them. I'm really surprised because it has been a solution. So I'm an advocate. We should get snap mounts. We should get a sponsorship, man.
Yes. #ad snap mounts if you're watching, and we'll tag them on social media, and maybe, they're really great. They make it like for IRL content. They really are super easy to use. And I actually, on my GoPro, I epoxied I have a media mount for my GoPro, and I epoxied one onto the back because I'm like, I didn't want to use I have to like screw it on, because if I have to change a battery, I was like, I'll just stick it on the back of the mount, and so far it's held.
Yep. Well, and I don't remove them. I have one on every tripod, every new thing in my backpack, so I literally can just clip it on and move anyway. But Dan set me up with some good advice early on. So that was really cool.
It's
But
been like it can be
yeah,
a lot of trial and error sometimes, and yeah,
yeah.
I was trying to help, so because it's frustrating sometimes when our equipment doesn't work.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, it started off with just like kayaking and things like that. And Tom wasn't necessarily on board early.
Okay.
He was a little bit more nervous about kind of exposing our life and things like that. We had a lot of talks about like what are
Mhm.
going to be the lines. I'm not comfortable with
Mm.
this or that, but he's kind of gotten over that now. So
It doesn't matter anymore. It's all okay. So
It's
at
all out.
some point, there's a point of no return. So I've been streaming for about in different ways. I'm a broadcaster, so I've been streaming live shows since 1996.
Okay.
Was my first live stream of a band, and not video, just audio.
Okay.
And so Laura and I, we don't talk much about it on stream, but we had a festival consulting business, and we started a entity called Protocol Experts was our first business,
hmm
and we would travel around the country setting up radio station broadcast booths and then
Cool.
sending the signals back to their stations. And so we had quite a business for many years doing that, and then Radio Bonnaroo. And so that just I love the tech. I love the tech.
That's
So
awesome.
and I like the people. So
I like it.
so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And so
I
I
started
think that
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so we've been doing the streaming part a long time, and like she said,
Awesome.
we were very involved. I made a job change, and we actually couldn't afford the long distance phone calls, so we started using message
mhm.
boards to communicate, but they were all public.
Hmm.
And so you create this community, and you find these places that you like to hang, and we made friends just like you do on Twitch.
Yeah.
And we had meetups
Well,
back then,
and people knew, kind of similar to now, people actually were really involved in our day to day because we literally were talking about our day to day. Our children, that $400 phone bill when you're, in your 20s is
Mhm.
just a little bit much. And that's when we had phones and we had long distance and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I had three little kids at home and two toddlers and a newborn, and was trying to sell a house while he was away. And so there was a lot of drama to discuss at night.
Mhm.
And we had a group following us, and we ended up, meeting a lot of them. But they gave advice just like chat does now. So yeah, that was back in the
1995.
geez, that was 90s.
1995.
Yeah,
We went to our
That's
first
awesome.
Austin
meetup. Yeah.
Cool.
So
yeah.
Anyway.
Was it IRC, Internet Relay Chat? That's what I
Yep.
used to be on back in the
Yep.
One
mid
of them.
90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Crazy.
That's that's awesome. I've been doing like radio. I've been like in sales support, and I started in radio in 2001 and moved into now it's like cable and digital advertising. When my ex got into grad school here in Chicago, I took a job up here, and I've been with the company now 17 years, and
Wow.
it's ridiculous that my career at this company can drive now. And I sent what was the oldest email I've ever sent last week to our director of marketing, who I've known since I've started. She's one of the original employees. And I was like, I'm going to ask something that makes me feel really old. Do you have any summer internships? Because our oldest kid is looking for a summer internship.
Wow.
And we were like, I can't, no, Kaylin is 2. Like, no.
I know, right?
It's too cool.
Yeah,
So-
how things have changed.
Agent Wonka, yes,
Amazing.
Papa and Lala are awesome. And yeah, I'm grateful. Like, it's crazy the people you meet. Like, I met Nicole through Chef John Reed as well, and Potter Toastman, one of my mods. I met him. I started streaming back in 2017, back on Mixer, and I was doing all just home brewing, just making beer, drinking beer, making beer, and I got partnered there. And then in 2020, Twitch blew up, and the first 2 streamers I found on Twitch were Cat of Whimsy and Chef John Reed, and
Mm-hmm.
Chef was very welcoming, and it was a fun community, very cheeky, as Chef would say. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Yes.
we push the limits, but
Yeah.
It was good
it's
for him.
it's fun. Yeah, I think he needed a little bit, kind of broaden his horizons a little bit. And
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So, but then I
No,
met,
that's
met
crazy.
Colin and the gang, and yeah, it's been fun. Shayna, Kat, and Shane Brent. Yep, they're lovely. They're good people. We're gonna have Kat on at some point on the podcast too.
Oh, and hi everybody in chat. Hello. Nicole, hi girly. So great.
Well, I didn't. It was a Freudian slip. You two are making history content wise with me. I have never had two guests on a talk show podcast thing. So I was like, this is my first three-way. And I was like, oh.
Oh man.
So of course, Nicole was like, and clip. So
So are we PG?
we can be, I have it set for mature. We can be, you can be a little, whatever you're comfortable with. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Minor
Yeah.
cheekiness allowed.
Yeah.
It's so funny because he's the stick in the mud when it comes to,
And tell us other people's streams.
and then
Let it go. No, it's fine.
No.
We watched, like, one of the things we've added on stream. We've been doing funny video reactions, and we had to put some rules into place. Like, guys, we have to make sure the videos are TOS safe because I like streaming and I don't want to lose that ability by something you share. So
yeah.
But it's not anything anyone's doing maliciously. It's just like, perhaps we should have watched that video all the way through. And so.
Yeah, right.
So how did you come up with the username Lala Carpe Diem? Was that something you used back in the old chat days, or is it something new?
No, actually, it's not. It was more like I wanted my approach to the streaming as we are now was definitely wanted it to be more authentic.
Okay.
And so people call me Lala. It has become a thing. It happened when little kids that were our friends' little kids couldn't say Laura. And
Okay.
I'm not the, Mrs. whatever or Miss whatever. That's just not my thing. And so they couldn't say Laura. And so it was Lala. And then adults it kind of translated to their parents, and adults started calling me Lala. And so it was a way to have a name that I could connect with. So it wasn't like another personality. It really is what people call me. But it was also not like putting my regular name out there. Carpe Diem has been a motto since I was like in middle school.
Okay.
I took some introductory Latin in middle school, and it was one of the first things we learned. And it means seize the day. And I was just like, that was something that just spoke to me as a younger kid. And actually it's kind of worn off. It's turned into a family motto as well. My son actually has it tattooed on his ribs. You know what I mean? It's just something that my family has adopted. So it's kind of more of a family mantra.
I like that.
And that's, yeah.
Nice.
And Papa Tom
was given to me by a friend, and they started calling me Papa Tom before we had grandkids.
The same people who started calling us calling me Lala.
Friends, and they always referred to it. I mean, I'll never forget. I walked into a business meeting, and my friend was working at the company, and he said, "Papa Tom," and everybody looks, and they're like, "Why are you calling him? Is that?" Yeah, they were like confused because I was what, 30 some years old.
Yeah, not looking like a papa or anything.
And so, but it stuck. And my screen name for Twitch used to be Zapster.
Okay.
Zapster was my original screen name, and then I changed it to Papa Tom 99, and then it became Papa Tom Carpe Diem, so that we could combine the channels. So
I like it. Funny story. Colin, I still refer to him as Hans because his username is Hans. I'm like, Hans. I'm like, wait, I don't know how. So, like, he's actually in my phone as Colin Hans, and so it's just how he's in there. Well, one of the things that I've liked that you guys have done, like your channel, like I remember those kayak days, the early kayak streams, and then like you were on the boat and getting ready there and doing stuff, and then then you guys started traveling. You've done some games here and there, and the yoga. what, like, I wanted to ask, like, and the bus work, like working on the bus and kind of downsizing, and you guys talked about it. We rated the other day, after the walk. Um,
Hmm.
Wanted to kind of talk about the IRL content and like, kind of like, I like that niche, obviously, because out there too doing that stuff, but kind of get your take on it and what you love about it, I guess, and like your plans for like moving forward, I guess, like as you're downsizing and stuff.
Yeah, it's I think it has evolved definitely. It was just okay, we'll do a few things and
Hmm.
activities, and it has evolved into more of okay, we're basically putting our most of our life out there,
Hmm.
all aspects of it. And I think it was when I decided I was going to leave my job and we really were going to change this up.
Hmm.
This wasn't going to be just a little part-time thing. We really want to go full bore. We're 58 years old for anybody that doesn't know. And one of the other things I think that kind of spurred on a little bit of things was, Tom received a diagnosis. He's got rheumatoid arthritis, runs in his family. His mother was pretty crippled by
Yeah.
it most of her
Hmm.
life. So there is the chance that, Tom's disease will run its course in
Hmm.
its own time, but there is a risk of waiting too long to be able to do some things that we want to do.
Hmm.
And so I think I got really serious. The streaming started to become something else when I was like, Tom agreed that I was going to leave my job and I was going to
Hmm.
retire early. It's going to be 55,
Yeah.
and then it was going to be for sure by 57. Anyway, and then it took another year,
Okay.
but it just it we wanted to go ahead and do this so that maybe part of what we leave behind is also letting not just our children but other people know that you don't need to do life like people think you do. You don't, you got to stay at your job, you retire no earlier than 65, and some people are now staying until 70.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And because you need money and you need this and you need that, and the house and the stability is all the whole important thing. um as we started to do this, more and more people go, man, I want to do that. But what we always heard was, the definition of success is a house and, your family and places to have holidays and, the stability in
Hmm.
that. And travel you did a couple times a year, and whatever. But um I don't know. I wanted something different, a little bit more adventure, a little bit more. I want to see more things than just a couple times a year. I want to live while I still can, and
Hmm.
I want us to be able to do stuff while we still can. So being able to show people that you don't have to fit into a mold,
Yeah.
and and also the technical pieces of it, that just because you want to do this, we don't magically have tons of money to do all this stuff. And now that I've
Right.
quit my job, we don't have any money,
Hmm.
but we're still going to do these things. How are we going to do that? So it's really the mechanics and to show people that you really can do that stuff. Um, Also, the thing about downsizing, getting rid of our house and leaving things and leaving, where family grows up and they start doing these things, all this, the way we've had to adapt to life,
Hmm.
becoming, kind of the empty nesters and now really giving up our family home and our things and all that. It's emotional.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not for show. And I don't know. So it's turned into let's just be ourselves. And, people have questions. We're willing to have conversations about it. But I think part of the purpose now in the stream is to not only receive the support from chat, because really chat is a support. They are
Yeah.
encouragers. They've got great ideas. When we're down, we get lifted up. So I feel like streaming is a partnership.
Hmm.
I still feel like I get more out of it than probably chat
Yeah.
does, but we do hope that we can give back by just authentically going through this and sharing how we do it. And hopefully it will work out, and hopefully other people will not be bound by you know what I mean, the doubt
Yeah.
that they can do something that they really want to do.
I love that, and that resonates with me like a lot. Like, Kelly getting sick taught us like
Hmm.
you know, like what's really important, right? And like I would work 50, 60, 70 hours a week at the job, and I scaled back because that's not important, right? And you know, I switched, you know,
Yeah.
I think when we met, I think I was still Fourth Room Brewing on Twitch,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and I just wasn't, I was doing it because it was a thing. And like I've gone through a few chat likes to give me a hard time about the number of rebrands I've done. Like, you know, I came back to Run Dan Run, and I'm like, I promise I'm never changing again. And it's just, it's, you know, what I like is when someone new comes in, like, wait, are you running? Like, yeah, I'm a 40-year-old guy trying to run, and you know, I'm not in the best shape. I'm never going to win a race unless I'm the only guy running it. Like, you know, like it just, yeah,
But it's
I
kind of
think
about winning your own race,
Yeah.
it is
your
being the
own race.
best
Yeah,
version of
yours.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I talked in counseling, and one of the things that, you know, I'm working on is like dealing with anxiety and running and stuff like that, and putting pressure on myself and using like that coaching voice with myself. And, you know, like I catch myself during runs doing it. And it's like doing that kind of throughout life in general can be good too.
Hmm.
And just trying to show that, be open with my struggles with everything, and being open with like dealing with injuries and coming back. And I think one of the
Yeah.
regrets we had, like you talk about like sharing your life and being out there, like one of the regrets we have maybe was we were a little too open when Kelly was sick. You know, like we're
Hmm.
like maybe in hindsight we could have held some, you know, some stuff back. But you know, when you're going through it, you just, you know,
It's
you
pretty
have that.
easy. It's pretty easy to share, maybe
Yeah.
overshare at
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And
I think we find that too.
Yeah.
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 But what I like is that we
But
can course correct, right? You can always set a limit, right? Like, you know, guys, I know we've talked
Absolutely.
about this, but like, yeah, we're gonna pull back a little bit on some of this stuff. So
yeah, our group is pretty. Our
yeah.
all of our crew that's watching right now is really supportive
Hmm.
of everything that we have going on, and
Yeah.
you know, they also
But we've had to come to some agreements too, where afterwards we might have talked about it and gone, you
Hmm.
know what, some of this stuff we may need to talk about where, you know what I mean, where
Yeah.
you and I can, where it can get messy.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
we can, just feel free to go ahead and have a couples conversation
Hmm.
outside of chat. And so there's,
Our 16-day road trip, we hit a couple
yeah,
of head-ons that needed to be. We really should have
yeah.
discussed off camera.
We,
But
yeah, we road tripped from Chicago down to San Antonio for PAX one year, and then 3 months later to Boston for PAX East. And that trip to Boston, like driving in Boston, that was the real test. That was more of a test to our marriage than leukemia. Like
Yeah.
there were a couple times like we didn't stream all of it, but there were a few moments it was like, oh boy, like yeah. But like we've gotten good about like talking off stream, you know, like Kelly's gotten better with, well, one, I still have a clip from one of my first streams. It was a brew day, and I was trying to get her to come on camera, and Kelly didn't get it, and she didn't like it, and just didn't understand. She's like, wait, you're on the internet and people are watching you. I don't understand. And she just like
Yeah.
she's seen how people kind of like with the running now. Like you're right. Like chat is always supportive, and
Yeah.
you know they
Mhm.
they razz you some, but they are supportive in what you're doing. And I like to tell them they're my Yoda. They're the Yoda to my Luke, and you know when I'm running, they're in the little backpack kind of right there. You
Yep.
know, so
Well,
but
and I think and the razzing, I think sometimes it's a great reminder in those times when everything feels ultra significant
yeah,
to stop taking yourself so seriously.
yeah,
And I think so. Chat, you're good at that. You're good at just going, do you know what?
hmm,
Yeah, this is good. We're here. Let's
yes,
just do this thing. Stop taking this all so seriously.
yeah, exactly. Nicole says if you can't troll the ones you love, who can you troll? And
That's right.
it's some of my mods like Potter Toastman and Nicole. Like I text them every day, and like I'll if I don't say good morning a certain way, Potter Toastman is like, "Oh no, we are not doing this today. You are going to run and have a good run. You stop it right now." And I'm like, that's creepy that you like. That's like, you know. But I met him like he's been around I think since close to the beginning back on Mixer. So and he came over with us over here to Twitch, and we found BB Bubs together That was the first time I was in BB Above stream. Was he was making a small batch of beer, and I was sitting here like, "What are you doing?" Like I was trying to I wanted to reach through. I'm like, "No, okay, it's fine." And that's when I learned. I'm like, maybe I should step back from brewing a little bit because it's like, like. But yeah, it's great. Hey, Mimi. Hey, Magnus. Hey, guys. Welcome on in. We're hanging out with Lala Carpe Diem. I'm going to hit the button. It should work. Come on, work. Why is it not working? We'll get a shout out for Lala. I have a shout out button and it didn't work. Make sure you're following Lala Carpe Diem, guys. There. Hey.
You did.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry, I just washed my hair today and
I know you smell so good.
I know it's still wet. My hair's still wet. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
But you know what? When the bathhouse is open, the bathhouse is open. You got to go take a shower when it's available.
Yep. You got to go.
And I'm retired, so I can take a shower in the middle of the day if I want.
That's amazing. Like we were talking about, it's not retirement, but like remote working. I've been remote working since 2016, and I don't know that I could take a job where I have to go to an office. Like I go like once a year to our corporate office in Lexington, and it's been a couple years. And actually the last time I was down there was 2019, right before, it was a month before Kelly had her bone marrow transplant. And I had the hair out, the beard, it was like ZZ Top.
Wow.
And
wow.
My boss's boss was like, pulled my boss aside and was like, "Is Dan okay? Like he's looking a little crazy." And my boss is like, he's letting it go because they're going to do a solidarity shave. Like they know Kelly's hair is going to fall out. And so he's like, "Hey Dan, you ever hear of a brush?" I'm like, "I know, I'm sorry, sir." So, but I had to ask.
Share that picture someday.
I'll put it in Discord. I'll find it. I have a before and after that shave, and it's like, whoa, because I'd had the beard for a couple years then. So, but like I had to call and ask my boss. I'm like, "So what's business casual these days? Like, what? We've all been in remote working for so long. I wear joggers and t-shirts. Like, is that okay? Like, that can't be okay." So.
Yeah. It's like bringing the guy. It's like bringing the guy that's been a castaway on the island for 10 years, bringing him into the office. It's like that's what I'm envisioning. Is and don't expect him to be social.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. Or overly social. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Hello, Malak. Malak's in the house.
Hey, how are you doing? How's Bob? How are you guys? I love that they're together. That is, it's
so beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
It's just so beautiful.
It's one of the cool things that I like about streaming is just the people that we've met, like getting to meet you guys and having this conversation and Lucky and Nicole and PTM. It's crazy.
It really is. And when you think about how long it's been, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've known you guys for, longer than I've known some of my other friends. So
yeah, like I can't believe it's been 4.5 years that I've been on Twitch. Like
I know, right?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That's nuts.
Hey, Agent.
Hey, Gnith. Hey, Gnith. Shell gave me a reminder. I need to fix a couple of. We still have a few brewery related or beer related like things, and I need to retire some more of them.
Yeah.
So
like auto things.
Yeah, like the command, like when you come back, it's like, "Oh, someone puked and rallied, and then give him another beer." Like it's like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I don't like that. I gotta fix that. So, anyway.
Well, isn't that cool? That leads in. You kind of asked about the stream and how we started where we did, and and you've not developed, but you've reinvented yourself. Or back to Run Dan Run, that's pretty cool, and I think that the longer you stay on as a streamer, you won't remain exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
It'll as you become accustomed to doing things a certain way, you grow as people, your fan base grows, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about is we never. Laura said, I didn't get in this to be famous, I got in this to just share what I was comfortable sharing. And I think that where we are might be different than some other streamers,
Yeah.
about what our goals are.
Yeah.
So, and so we like this. We like the small, intimate group setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
sometimes I was lucky and I was, well, lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it, when I came over from Mixer, that I was one of the few, like there were 20, 30 of us that got partnered from Mixer. It's like, all right, well, you were partnered there, we're gonna make you partner here. And
Mm-hmm.
because of those rebrands, like it's not necessarily burning bridges, but like reinventing yourself. Like it's okay to try new things, and sometimes it doesn't work, right? And
Yeah.
like I actually, and like PTM says this to me a lot, is like, you know what, the people that want to be here are here. Like the people that
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
truly care are here. And that's, like some people come in like, I don't like your run streams, I like when you game. I'm like, and that's fair, I get that.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah, there are some folks, they're definitely not in for yoga and, some of the other things, but if we're on the bus, I see them. They are out there when we are,
Yep.
Yep.
on the property or on the bus, and they're more engaged.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And we've talked a lot about that. We've talked about a lot about the fact that we both have the ability to stream ourselves, our own channels. Mine will be very, we talk about that. Anything boat and bus will most likely be on Lala's channel. Part of this journey will be on Laura's channel.
Well, the stuff,
And
we do the stuff together. You know what I
we
mean?
do.
I don't do a lot of the streaming by myself. I didn't
Mhm.
get into it to do a lot of it. I mean, other than
Yeah.
the things Tom doesn't want to do, because
Mhm.
then I have company with chat, like
and I'm
kayaking.
pretty sure that you'll see some streams on mine that are probably pretty uber geek.
Yeah.
Pretty nerdy.
I'm looking
So-
forward to him getting in, as we built the garage up at the property for
Mhm.
him to have Papa Tom's garage. And I'm really looking forward to him. We actually discovered this. I don't know, we've said it on stream before. Because, my dream was to, get rid of everything, live on a boat. I wanted to experience living on a boat.
Mhm.
It wasn't until after we had decided we were doing it, the house is on the market, and I'm just like, man, I just can't wait. Retirement, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, that's not my idea of retirement. And I'm like,
No, that's not how it went. That's not quite how it went.
it was how that went.
She asked me, she said, so are you excited?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think I said,
He said, well,
I'll get there. And she said,
and I
she
said,
just
well,
kind of was like, what?
this is retire. And he was like, your idea of retirement and my idea of retirement might be two different things.
Yep.
He was like, living on a boat was not my dream. I'm like, what? Like I was crushed. I'm like, well, holy hell, how'd we get this far? And I'm just finding out about this. Like, oh my Lord, now what do we do?
Well, thank God
Mhm.
she bought a bus and we needed to
Well,
we
and
build a
yeah.
depot.
And so as soon as we got that land, it was like, well, I know what Tom wants, because he said my view of retirement is a garage. He comes from the north, in Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Those guys, everyone has a garage, and a
Yep.
garage is not where you keep your car.
No.
It's where you've got, your bar, your man cave, your couches where your buddies get together. It's where you do the fish fries and all the things. That you got your garage. That's what Tom wants. It's his version of retirement in his wood shop. So
I like that.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. And we talked like he will have a maker stream where he is really good at stuff like that. And when he gets time to be able to really get creative with some of the maker stuff in the garage, I think that's going to be
Yeah.
a cool thing.
That's
Sure.
gonna be
And
a
we're
lot
going to
of
have trail cams.
Yeah.
We've been talking about having like the 24/7 trail cams out there, because
Cool.
the wildlife is pretty good. So anyway, so there's some other stuff that'll happen on Tom's side of the house.
I like it.
There will not be lack of potential for content, Dan.
Okay.
Ours, but yeah, on my side will probably be the travel,
More the adventure
the
stuff.
travel adventure stuff. Yeah.
I like
So.
it. That's awesome. I like that. I love that you're doing it together, and
Yeah.
and I like you said, like you brought up a point too, like, retirement can be two different things. Like that's like with like me with streaming, Kelly's like, I don't know that I want to be on that much anymore. I'm like, you know what? Like at first I was like, I was crushed. I was like, oh, but I'm like, well, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It can be a both and.
Yeah. Hey, Colin. Hi, Hans.
Hi, Hans.
Hi, honey. These are all my people.
They are. They are. Thank you for introducing us.
I know. He's probably like, well, Dan was my friend first. Yes, he was.
Yes, he
Yes,
was.
he was.
Colin is great. See, I still do it. I'm like, Hans, Colin, Hans. And his text noise is my phone. It goes, Hans, 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 Hans. I don't know where I found the sound, but that's his text noise. It's either that or it's the one where he made, it was in your house and Chef was streaming and Colin was like, he made like a weird slurping noise. And I'm like, and clip it. I need that audio. So I don't remember which one it is. It's one of those two things.
Oh God. Oh God.
Uh,
Yeah. That would be my son.
and we love the fact that our children are open to streaming with us.
Mhm.
They
Some
are
of 'em.
yeah,
Some
they-
of them.
even the youngest is open. Anyway, but we have to, you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's saying we have one who is willing and wants to start, and then the other one that's kind of like they'll do the scary streams when they can torment me, but doesn't necessarily want to be on. Like they'll come down to do laundry and like look, and then kind of wander by. Like the downside to being in a kitchen is that I don't have a door per se, so
Yeah. 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 I need to be
So.
careful with them. I don't like slurping noises either. I'm like, yeah.
I feel bad. Like my sister gives me a hard time with the breathing. She's like, all you do is breathe heavily. I'm like, I don't want you to do like I'm running. Like it's what it is.
Same with audio issue.
No, but if I'm drinking, I also don't want gulping noises.
I lean back with the water. I'm trying to lean back when I take a drink.
I know, right? Well, these mics are just so that we got this new one. It's really
Mhm.
ultra sensitive, I think.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys use the mics when you stream the IRL stuff too with the or do you just use the GoPro camera? Are you guys hooked in with mics as well or?
Now we're using.
yeah, we're using a phone camera.
Oh, right.
So-
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so I've got a set of Rhodes that I took that feedback from Hitch, one of my favorite
Mhm.
IRL streamers. I watched a lot of Hitch in the early, few years ago when I first started streaming. And so got the Rhodes early. This one, just a shout out for sure, because they gave me some mics to try.
Cool.
It's the new Move mic.
Nice.
And it is tiny. It comes in a little, chargeable, which the Rhodes don't come in the little,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got to charge. It's
Mhm.
got a little container, so one is always charging, and it's just really nice. But yeah, a lot more settings that you can do with like gain and different types of environmental stuff that you may need to adjust for.
Yeah.
Lots to learn about them that you don't have with the Rhodes, but
Yeah.
it's also kind of a blessing and a curse because
Yes.
it's just a lot of effing with it. So
It is like I'm upgrading the GoPro for Christmas. I'm getting it as a gift, and I'm worried already about like troubleshooting and changing all the settings and just like I know it's going to be the same universe. It's just the newer version of the GoPro, and
yeah.
the best thing I got for mine was that the not the media mod, but the lens, the motion. I don't even know what it's called. It's like the bubble lens, and it does like the ultra wide thing, but it has like a horizontal, like a stabilization horizon lock, which is people get way less seasick when I'm running because it's more level. There's only a little bit of like
Oh, that's great.
No,
shuffle. It's way
I
better.
bought all the
His
mods.
stream is
Yeah,
amazing.
I bought all the mods for. I have a Hero 10.
I've got
Is
the
that what you're
9.
using now?
I've got the
Nine?
Hero 9 and the lenses. Let me grab it. Hold it up here. But the downside to it is it's got a little like bubble here. I don't know if that's you can see how it's kind of
Yeah.
domed there. That's not good when you fall a lot because they crack easily. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
get the insurance if you're klutzy like me.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm upgrading to the 12 and it's got a new, like it uses the same media mod, thankfully. So the lens is new. So, but yeah, when I set that up, I'm sure I'm going to have some raging with the connection. Hopefully not, but I've got to reach out to our friend Makawaka, another IRL streamer, and I
Mm-hmm.
love the way he syncs his internet with a couple different hotspots, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of pick his brain. So, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Kind of, I like that we get to geek out like this, like and share. Like when people ask, I'm like
Yeah.
our friend Celty was asking about like IRL stuff and how do you do your runs? I'm like, well, I do this, and I have like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a one sheet now that I send to folks. I'm like, this is what I do.
Yep.
So
Are you
Well, it was cool. Kanara reached out recently because I think she's looking to do a little, some IRL stuff, and she reached out, and I'm just like, oh my God, Kanara's asking me. I mean, I was just like beside myself,
that's
you know
awesome.
what I
That's
mean?
so
But it
cool.
was really, really cool when, and we got to hook up with Kanara at TwitchCon, which was just really
Nice.
neat. Um,
Awesome.
so I think it was just a lot easier to kind of connect afterwards and have some discussion about it. But
Mhm.
it was just that is, I think for me, I've started to get a little bit more of those experiences. And like this with you know what I mean? Geeking out with other streamers, it is
Mhm.
what it's about. It's part of being a part of a community.
Yeah.
And IRL it is different. There's a lot of you're putting together, a situation and models of technology that aren't meant to do what they do, and we're just kind
Yep.
of piecing shit together how it works.
Yep.
Um,
Like
and getting innovative.
I think about how far the run streams have come, and like like the one thing I hated was like if I had to use a bathroom, I'd have to stop stream and
Yeah.
start it back up, and I'm like, you know what? And then being able to figure out like learning like being an older guy and not super tech savvy, like Lala and I were talking before we started. My stream camera is different than the one you guys are seeing in Discord because I'm not smart enough to figure out how to get it to work. I'm like, you know what? I've got I've got multiple cameras from all the kitchen streams. Let's just fine, just do it that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So like it's just but like learning how to do like an RTMP server and being able to stream to this machine and then push the signal here, which then lets like Nicole and PTM, the mods, change scenes. Like, all right, Dan,
Hmm.
BRB kind of a thing. It's nice. So
Oh
I know
my
there's probably
God. Tom got me a gift
yeah.
a couple of days ago, and he is like, he took it out of the box, and I wasn't quite sure. I was like, oh, holy hell. I mean, it was such a sweet thing, but it's a stream deck. And I'm
Oh
like,
yes.
oh, what? And because when I'm doing a desktop stream, Dan and I were talking, it's actually harder for me to do a desktop stream because there's overlays and there's different windows. And when I'm
Mhm.
doing like Stream Raiders on one window and GeoGuessr and then whatever else, and then I've got Streamlabs open and there's just all these windows.
Yep.
And it's just harder. And sometimes like chat, I'm sitting here talking about one game and they're not even seeing it, and it then with the
Oh, I do that.
delay and everything else, it's like, oh damn, really?
Oh
Um,
snap.
but
BB
yeah, so
Bubs.
Tom was like, you need a stream deck. And I looked at this thing, and I mean, you want to talk about intimidated. I'm gonna need a week off just to figure out. And
It's so handy
yeah,
though. Like once you learn it, it is you're gonna love it.
about
Colin's
like
right.
overlays and all the things. I'm a very simple
Just
streamer right now.
she will
Um,
she'll start using it and she'll use the basics and then we'll show her the power. She got the
Yep.
Stream Deck Plus mixer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. I
See, I
like
don't
it.
even know what that is. I don't even. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you guys can
She can
geek out while I go get another water.
I'm gonna welcome in BB Bubs. Thank you for that giant raid. Bubs, hello, sir. Hi. Welcome on in, everybody. We're hanging out. We're doing our podcast recording with Lala Carpe Diem and Papa Tom. Welcome in, guys. That Stream Deck sound mixer is awesome. Like there's definitely a pipe dream to upgrade the setup here. Hello, sir. How was stream? How you doing? Yeah, the Stream Deck is so great. Like the IRL setup. Now that I have running through the stream computer, I can't imagine doing IRL without being able to give the mods the ability to change scenes. And like I feel bad because
Hmm.
mods they're donating their time, right? And yeah, I lean on them a lot sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, we do too, especially since we've added in things like just even blurps and the sounds and the things like that.
Yes.
There's just so much to manage now.
Yeah. I keep
So
adding
yeah,
troll
shout
things for them
outs to
too.
mods in
Yeah.
general.
Oh yeah, can you
Jeez,
how do you do any of it without
I know.
the support that they give?
We
Yeah.
love you, mods.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why they like to troll us too, right? Like,
Yep.
Yep.
Mimi's my newest mod. She's like, I don't get paid for this. Damn.
Shayna, Clab, Mefan, T, Darren.
hmm
Oh, mods are no. Stop it, Nicole. Stop it.
Mods are meh.
Mods,
Nicole.
mods are awesome. Nicole.
Mods are amazing.
They're great. Like
They know we love them.
and they allow us to do the things we do, right? They help a lot.
If we ever get, I'll put this on film. I'll put this on film and we'll record it. If we
Okay.
ever get to, yeah, actually I'm not
No.
because I've done this before.
Don't ever promise
Making
shit
promises
on stream.
Making
Oh,
promises
no.
on things that are
Don't
recorded.
ever do that. Clab troll me never.
Yeah. So we have, I don't know if you've been in here and stream, we have a countdown timer that my mods have learned that they can set off. It won't work now because as mods and trolls, they know that they will help check and make sure my settings are right by trying to set off loud noises because I jump easily. I'm like Nathan Lane in the birdcage. Like I just like, but it's a boat horn. It is the loudest boat horn. And we took that sound and it is a loud, it's turned all the way up and it's loud and just the bass, it's like a guttural, just like boat horn. And it is, oh my. So
Yeah.
he's the mods are responsible for a lot of the shenanigans in the channel.
Exclamation point Speedo. Hello T.
Yeah.
Hey T.
In the house. Yeah, at the mention of all the things
Mm-hmm.
the documentarians of all the things we said we were going to do and don't.
Oh no. Well, Lala and I were talking. I owe a run stream tomorrow now, and it's a speed work one where chat can dictate how many like 10, 20, and 30-second pickups they get to determine how long it is and how many. Like I do 6, so like you're gonna get 30 seconds of rest. You're gonna go again. Great. So
Nice.
that's
Oh,
gonna
that'll be fun though too. A challenge, but also something for chat.
Yeah.
Like that's really getting engaged in the run.
It's called a fartlek, FARTLEK. It's Swedish and it means speed play. So like Nicole says, Dan's gonna lick farts. I'm like, it's not fart lick, it's fartlek.
Fartlek.
You know what? So so this morning I licked the camera for them and Nicole was like, ew. I'm like, you're clipping it. So
Yeah, exactly, right?
yeah.
Hey, yeah, okay. So what just about fart words? When I was in Germany,
Mhm.
I discovered every time we were going down the road and I would just laugh. Every few miles there would be an Ausfart. AUSFART, Ausfart. And I'm like, what the hell? They really like their farts over here. What is this? Anyway, I did find out it meant exit. But that even made it more funny. But
That's
honestly,
hilarious.
to me, in my
That is
middle
great.
school brain. But anyway, in German,
that.
Ausfart is exit.
I like it. That's great.
So
We changed our bathroom command. PTM and I were talking on text, and there's a song from Days of Thunder. It's on my run playlist, which we'll get to the trolling on that in a second. But there's a song called Thunderbox, and he's like, that's what we're going to call porta potties at. So we're all agreed that porta potties are thunderboxes.
Oh my gosh.
And we're in the car with the kid and Thunderbox. So that is now the bathroom command is Thunderbox. And actually, if you look up Thunderbox, it's an Australian portable like camping toilet called Thunderbox.
Oh wow.
So we're leaning
It's
into
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
PTM
there you
is sharing the boat horn there, so y'all can save that link and hear it, and it hurts the ears because it's
I love
loud.
it. We've got a boat horn too that if my speaker is turned up loud enough, will scare the shit out of me as
Yeah.
well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't have fart noises on our stream.
Tom won't allow Tom won't allow farts.
No.
No, he's
Okay.
he's
No, I don't like fart sounds on our stream.
Okay.
But that's fine.
That's
Other
fair.
people, I laugh at them. But
That's fair. That's fair.
I think they're funny.
The problem is like
we
my
have,
run
so
streams.
we have those negotiations and conversations. But I'm pretty
Well,
open.
that's like the turtle noises that you know.
Yeah. Somebody
that
gave the video of that.
Still it's my favorite. I just think it makes me laugh every single time. It makes me happy. And he gets like, I feel like he literally wants to get violent when he hears it.
I get flush. I get flush talking about it.
Anyway, so yeah,
And
the
I know
turtle
the
noises
sound.
were another
Yeah.
one.
And I own it.
that.
I don't know why. I mean, but I'm pretty.
Clive said we do have turtles.
Yeah.
We do have turtles. We do.
Well, I mean, I have a very specific imitation of Kelly that it's when Kelly is upset, confused, or flustered, and her voice goes up like 4 octaves.
Yeah.
It's for like a what do you mean? Like it's that moment only. And like we were at a holiday party for her at work, and I was doing the imitation, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like Kelly. And then she shouted like, "What do you mean?" real high, and I was like, "What do you mean?" Everybody's like, oh, "That's it." Like it's a very only once in like
the Tom sound that is played is redeemed. The Tom sound is very similar to Laura saying Tom. Mucka
awesome.
does a great one too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Mucka does a great
Tom.
Yeah.
And
you'll do it on his stream,
Yeah.
you know, like when we're there.
Yeah. But
if Tom's in another room and he doesn't respond, like if I just say, you know, "Hey honey, hey Tom,"
Mm-hmm.
you know, my little sing-song voice, it's not working. You got to go, "Tom."
There you go.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he's, you know, and then he looks at me and goes, "What?
What?"
Like, dude. He goes, "You don't need to yell." I tried every other thing. It works.
Yeah, Kelly calls me Peanut, and if she ever uses my real name, I'm like, what I do? What's wrong? What happened?
Oh, okay.
So now she does it to control me. She's like, I don't know, Dan, what's wrong? I'm like, huh? What?
It makes you nervous.
There's a little puckering, maybe, you know, like, oh boy,
Yeah.
what'd I do? And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
think, and there's a moment, yeah.
Yeah.
PTM's text noise on my phone. It's I can't remember the comedian, but he sings a song about toast, and it's just the guy going, "Yeah, toast!" And our oldest dog does not like it. She hears it, she gets up, and she will leave the room because she's just like, So if I'm sitting with her,
turtle noises.
Yeah. Apparently.
Pole vault trick. Wait a minute, pole vault trick. What pole vault trick did you do, Tom?
Pole vault.
Who said that? Clab?
Shayna.
Like when Tom does his pole vault trick. What's that?
What's that, Shayna?
I'm missing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane explain. No, we probably don't want her to explain,
No,
but she will now.
She's gonna put her hands on her head because she's gonna be like, "Why are they doing this to me?"
Now we're,
Down the mountain at La La Land.
Oh, down the mountain. Yeah, no, that was just one of Tom's brighter moments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I fell, Dan.
So you pulled a Dan. Okay.
I fell at the property doing something stupid. I went to jump one of the landscape rolls that she was rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
And I went to jump it, and it was steep, and I fell back.
He was standing on a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's a hill, here's Tom. And the thing comes rolling down, and he jumps, lands, and then wonders why he fell back. I mean, I know I'm doing like middle school geometry here, right? This is a flipping word problem. Anyway, so he lands and then he stumbles back, and he just
gravity, age, and balance prevailed.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Gravity
wins all the time.
Yep.
My worst fall was before I started wearing the run pack and had a harness I'd wear under my shirt, and I fell and landed on the harness, and I bruised my sternum because I landed it was an 18-mile run. It was horrible.
Yeah, that's a rough place too. Yeah.
That's one of them where like the alert for Garmin went off and Kelly got the text like, an emergency has happened. Dan has fallen, and it sends her the coordinates. Like, we didn't know that happened.
No.
there was a 6 a.m. run it happened on, and my dad got a text because I had my dad on the emergency contact list. My dad's like,
Yeah.
you you okay? I'm like, everything's fine, just fell during a run. He's like, maybe
Oh,
take me off those alerts. I'm like, that's fair, Dad. I should have let you know I put you on that.
wow.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I remember when you were fall. I remember when the falling was a huge
Hey
thing.
Dan,
too,
I need
with
to
the
I need to
sciatica
take
and
a
all
I need
that.
to take a quick 30-second break.
Sure.
Okay, so you'll be down to 1 for a second.
All right.
Watch me try to get off this couch.
It's all right. I can hold down the fort.
Yeah, those falls
All
were
right.
not
Now
fun
we
that
can
summer.
talk about Tom, guys.
All right, Tom. All right, guys, we're going to talk about Tom.
Anything you want to know about Tom, chat.
Yes, gravity is bad. Gravity is not. Yeah. Oh, you use Tom's full name even. That's when you know you're really in trouble, is when you use someone's full name.
Yeah, all right. Hey, shithead. No, I'm kidding. That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and we've gotten there on stream before too. But
We've
you know,
had
it's
moments.
it's part of seeing everything.
Yep.
Sometimes, even the
Yep.
things that might. I don't know, and it's funny. Even the mods are just like, oh, don't worry, everyone. It's just IRL. If one of us makes a snarky comment at the
Yeah.
other one, we're just looking at each other like, what the fuck was that?
Hello, honey. How you doing? Everything okay? Yeah, she was good. I'm checking on her. Kelly came out to check on Ray. She's in
Hi,
a crate
Kelly.
in her room. Lala says hi. She says hi. She also, the other part of why Kelly doesn't like to be on microphone is there have been times maybe where I've clipped audio of things Kelly said and used it on stream, and hindsight, not the nicest. I realize.
Yeah.
Getting back in the center. I want to be closer to you.
Hi there.
Hi. Hi, honey.
Yep. It is. It's just life. And that's like what Shane said. It's just life. And,
Yeah.
and that's one thing too, I think. But some people are uncomfortable with, and it could be from their past. I get it as well. Can be uncomfortable with, either people arguing or tension or, seeing that in a relationship and immediately think it's bad instead of just it's natural. And you know what I mean? We're fine. And so, folks that as they've gotten to know us a little better, I think they're a little more tolerant of it. But I know when we first started having it, Tom wanted to take everything offline. You know what I mean? Like if we had a disagreement, we were just supposed to smile and pretend like there wasn't anything wrong.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this on stream kind of thing? So he would go, like we'd stop at a gas station or something. He'd get out of the car and he'd be making all kinds of faces and waving his arms at me off camera. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And so then he would go off and be all pissed and I'd talk to Chad about him. Anyway, no, yes.
It's a little bit better. A little bit better now.
But then we would talk about it later and he'd be like, we shouldn't have these arguments or we shouldn't have, some of these things, on stream. And I'm like, well, then I guess we're going to stop the stream every 10 minutes because there's some trips that's just,
Yeah.
But we did come to an agreement about how we can talk about them. We just need to tell, it's just a minute.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be horrible and it doesn't need to be in depth, but we can still work out some general, how are we gonna just come to an agreement or an understanding here on stream.
Well, and I think it's good to like resolve that too. Like I think to show people like there's tension sometimes, and I think being able to show them, that you can work it out too. Like you don't want to just leave. I think it's good.
Streaming 8, 10, 12 hours a day on the weekends, at some point, we do long streams.
Yeah.
And it can be, it can be challenging. And when it comes toward the end of the night, I'm ready. Not that I want to just, but there's a point that there's a point that you should raid,
Yeah.
And
Tom's like, I can't deal with her for 8 hours.
So, and I don't mind the long streams, but sometimes I just get tired. And so I think now what happens is we'll pull the truck in, and I know we kind of have our roles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, and Tom gets quiet. Like I think Shayna said, and back there too. I mean, and Chad's used to it. They know when Tom's starting to get grumpy. Usually they're like, he probably needs to eat. Does he need a Pepsi? They want to do all the things to fix Tom.
I aim to start the stream grumpy every day, just so that they, if I'm happy, they're like, man, Tom's happy today. So I set the bar really low.
Try to set the bar like
such a lame
But,
strategy.
that I get that, like, because there are certain points, like when I was doing the brew days, even some runs, there's times I'm like, you know what, we're just gonna. You just sometimes you hit a point. It's like, I got nothing left, and it's just
Yeah.
It's hard to hang on, and
I like 90% of the streams.
Yeah.
I think that there are times that it can be when we start to have, it's when we are getting tired.
Mhm.
Is when, it's never really, I've never been annoyed by the content of the streams or by the people in streams. No, the people, really.
Never?
Well, I mean, besides my own emotional.
You do know that most of our chat is in here
I know they're awesome.
watching.
I know that's what I'm telling them. They're awesome. That's what I'm saying is we have
Can't bullshit chat.
No, they can read you. They can.
Oh, they know me very well.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Or Shane, if they fought and ended yeah.
Shayna said if they fought and ended stream, we would all freak out.
I think we've done it once.
Yeah.
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 I think we've done it once.
Did
where
we?
Where we've ended stream. I think you ended stream one night. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You weren't feeling well. I don't. Yeah. No.
I don't. Yeah.
I know at the end of it, Dan. I don't know, and you can attest to this with your other as well. That
Mhm.
I'm not even reading chat. That for me, for me, for the first year, I rewatched every stream.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I didn't like the version of me because I was uncomfortable with sharing, with maybe not being. I realized that my interactions with Laura, I could see where she was probably right on some of the stuff she told me for 10 years. And so the streaming for me, I was uncomfortable doing it at the beginning, but then when I realized that she really enjoyed it, she enjoys it, that I can probably have fun with it too. And we're doing it together, So it's been good. It's really helped. I think our relationship is better now today than it was years ago.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think streaming has a lot to do with it.
For me, it's an outlet, and like while Kelly doesn't want me to be a part of it, she doesn't want me to not stream. We started it back in 2017. I used to, before streams, I'd give her a kiss and love you. Thanks for letting me stream. She's like, I don't let you stream. I was like, it's good luck when I say it. She's like, it's good luck when I say it back. And that's just kind of our shtick that we've done before streams. And I try to because even though she's not on stream as much, she still is a big part of it. Like during runs, she, there were runs where she's point to point. She's out driving a car for 2, 3, 4 hours, meeting me in places with fluids and she handles things around the house and with the dogs. And one of the things she didn't like before we bought this house, the reason we had the second kitchen is, she felt like she could never come in the kitchen because I was bogarting it. And, during a brew day or cooking stream, I'm in there 5, 6 hours and she's like, I don't want to be on camera. I just want to come in the kitchen and get food. And there were many conversations, we would try to stage meal prep and get things ready, and she would ask me to microwave something for her, or just do things for her for food. And just that those conversations, she's like, I'm fine if you stream, but I feel like this. And I'm like, okay. So then when we found this house, I was like, all right, second kitchen, cool.
Yeah,
I can cook down here.
Amazing. It's amazing.
We're pretty lucky, and yeah, I haven't done as much with the kitchen stuff, but you know, it's still a good outlet. Like, and she gets it, and she knows why I
Yeah.
like to do it, and yeah, and is
Well, and
super
she's
supportive.
and she's she's your biggest fan.
Yeah, like I
You
still
know,
have.
and that's a cool. It's a cool thing. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen her a lot on stream, but over the few years that we have watched you,
Mhm.
when it comes to the race times and things like that, and even some of the other times where we've gotten a chance to kind of see
Yeah.
her, she's your biggest fan, and I'm sure she's extremely proud of you, Dan, and I know she's very proud of
She
you.
is. She's one of my favorite pictures. I'll have to send it to you guys. It's so in 2014, I ran the marathon. That was the first year we were together, and one of my favorite pictures is her and I hugging at the after the race. Found her after getting out of the finish corral, and it was night and day. Like, my ex didn't like the running, hated that I was doing it. Kelly was there, made signs, was out there cheering all day. 2016, the year we got married, I was trying to run it 2 weeks before we got married, and
Wow.
I got to Chinatown, which was mile 21.3, and I saw her and our friend Tweevy, and I was like, I want to walk at our wedding. Like, let's just go get pancakes, and I dropped. And my
Yeah.
favorite picture is, and then in 2021, I went back and ran Chicago again, and I knew exactly where I stopped, and I was like, there's a bench in Chinatown that I want to go to. This is where I quit, and I want to just flip off the bench, and then I'm going to keep going. I got to that bench. I was exhausted, and there's a picture of Kelly. It's literally up on the bar as a set of four. Her grabbing my hand. One of our friend, Irony O'Brien, one of my mods, and his wife Jess, they came up for the race, and Brian's a photographer, and he has a picture of Kelly pulling me past that point, and kind of
Aw.
then keeping me going. And it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the support. Like, and yeah, she's 100% on board, and like, she likes that. She knows I like to run, and like, we talk a lot. Like, I'm like, I just don't sign up for marathons at races without telling her. And I
Yeah.
did try to get into the Chicago lottery for this next year, and I didn't tell her. She's like, I figured you were going to do it. But then we realized my big race is the day before. And I'm like, that's not going to work. So, but like, like, I think this is what I want to do. Like, before I announce it on stream, we
Yeah.
talk. She and I talk about it. Like, this is what I would like to do. What do you think? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
well,
super
you
supportive.
definitely, and you've been there for her fights and her battles and her adventures as well. So,
I mean,
I think it's
yeah,
so cool.
I got back into it because when she got sick, I was like, I got to lose weight.
Mhm.
I need to get healthy. If I'm caretaker, like, who knows what this is going to be, right? And
Yeah.
slowly got back into running, and she's the reason I got back into it, and that's why we've raised so much money for, Leukemia and Lymphoma
Yeah.
Society. So,
Yep. It's
So-
amazing.
Awesome.
and like,
But I
we've
have
been
to
like,
say as well, because also what I meant when I said that I'm sure, I think, and so much of your stream, it's your run, Dan, run, but
Mhm.
you're also, you're a personality, not just a runner. You
Mhm.
are an incredible streaming personality. Whether you are gaming, whether you are cooking, whether you're doing whatever you're doing. And that's, I think it's got to be cool to, to see. I know when I watch Tom in front of the camera and I am not,
Mhm.
it is, or like when I see you at work and you're doing your thing and
Mhm.
whatever, it's cool to see him be a personality,
Mhm.
with others, and the fact that other people love him and things like that. You know what I mean? I'm proud. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure that Kelly feels that same way about you
she's very like,
for all aspects of your streaming, even though she might not be personally into the streaming.
I think as long as I'm not making fun of her, then yes, 100%. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes when I post, like, she's good, like, the good razzing, but sometimes she's like, it's all the time, and I'm like, Chat and I have a joke that there's going to be a day, like, I know where the line is, and I know I skirt it sometimes. There's going to be a day where an UGG boot's going to come flying in, and it's going to like I'll
Yeah,
like
and I
I'll
need to
know.
stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of serious talks
Unfortunately,
since.
a lot of times you never know you've hit those
Yes.
things until after you've run right over the line.
And I
Uh-huh.
tend to go over the line. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
we've
know it's
had
not intentional, but
yeah.
yeah.
it's meant in fun, and like she and I, we've had talks, and I've tried to pull it back. Like, I'll make fun of me all the time. Like I like doing that.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's one of the things that I've always admired about you is your ability to laugh at yourself, to just, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And I don't, and it's not the disparaging, that uncomfortable disparaging thing.
yeah.
It really truly is just being silly. And that's one thing I really do love about you. So,
I like the mods do keep me in check. Like we have a negative command. If I say something negative about myself, like if I'm just harsh,
mhm.
they'll find me $1. It used to, at one point we made it $5, and like,
Yeah, I remember that.
hey Buzz, hey sir, how are you? Buzzing is another guy that inspires me. Like he's worked hard to work on his health, and he's running, and I like when he comes into my run streams. He's like, I'm
Buzzing
running
Ranger,
today.
yeah.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Oh, hello, Ranger. I think we forget sometimes the streamers are doing this stuff in their home, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
logistics to running a stream when you have people walking around. Kudos to all who do it and can make it work. Yeah, it is, it can be a lot to manage,
Yeah, it's like in like IRL content, or makers and crafting, or food and drink,
Mm-hmm.
even fitness and health. Like it's hard because so much goes into it. It's not just, and I'm not trying to disparage streamers that play games. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I'm really trying to focus on content and social media, and sharing clips and stuff. But like IRL stuff, there's so much more. Like it's juggling someone else in the home or other people in the home, and it's like Bubs doing cooking, and you have to go out and buy ingredients, and you have to meal prep and plan, and it's just, there's so much that goes into IRL
Well,
stuff
and yeah,
sometimes.
and then the technology, and it isn't, and because whatever the situation is happening around you, you're moving
Hmm.
the technology,
Yes.
you have batteries and things that, you don't have if you've got an outlet right
Yeah.
there. So, yeah,
It's, and you trial and
the
error things.
unplanned things.
Yeah, the unplanned
Yeah.
things, and then like you trial and error. Like, I stopped wearing the harness underneath my shirt because as a heavier guy, I was chafing, and just I'm like, so I
Yeah.
use
Mm-hmm.
my run pack now that goes over, and it's like a backpack, and it had luckily the one I found had like a motocross like chest harness thing that the snap mount snaps onto. So I leave it
Mm-hmm.
on there permanently, and I'm like, chink, and it's great, and it's on the outside, so I don't
Right.
chafe, and it's just,
Yep.
again, it's trial and error. So,
Yep.
but yeah, like you got to carry batteries, and like one of the things we're trying to brainstorm is for like my longer races, like how do we charge batteries? Like I don't want to buy 87
Mm-hmm.
batteries. Like I have 8. We have to make this work for a 6 to 8 to 10 hour race. Like,
Yep. Well, and they're heavy. Like some of
yeah.
this shit's heavy if you
Yeah.
take enough of it.
Laura
Yeah,
will
like,
hold that.
yeah, it's yeah, you're holding it in your hand, or like, you're wearing it, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a pocket full of batteries in a Ziploc bag.
Yep.
It's just like,
But that's
so.
part of the creativity too, I think, of IRL streaming
Mhm.
is, and it's the problem solving, because I have always
Yes.
told I am not very creative, but it's part of the innovation,
Yeah.
taking something like this doesn't work and we've got these things. How can we make this situation better
Yes.
right now? So there's a lot of that, which I find engaging and satisfying,
Yeah.
that goes into IRL streaming. And yeah, like new equipment and stuff. Like since I started learning how to fish, there's a whole nother thing, because now I've got a whole bunch of fishing shit and
Yes.
I've got streaming shit. And so I needed a new backpack for that. Well, luckily I love backpacks and organizational things.
I
And
love bags too.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, she's got quite this. She's got quite the setup. It's a very organized, and it's
but it's
and if
scaled
you
down. It's very small actually for what.
and on a big week, like a big streaming week, like we're gonna stream. We'll be streaming a lot. End of After Christmas, we're gonna do a road trip,
Be about a
Mhm.
week and a half of
and
content
so
streaming.
when we were doing those launches
Yeah.
and going back and forth, and it's like you swear you have everything charged, and all of a sudden
Yep.
it's a crisis because everything's going dead at once.
Yep.
And then we pulled the Jackery and the Jackery was dead.
It was
And
like,
it's just like,
oh my
Oh.
God. I mean, it's just an FML.
and it's just,
That's like
and I try to help with the charging on those big days. I try to
yeah.
make sure that I'm helping and
Yeah.
set up a little bit now and then.
Oh yeah, like Shayna said, in the summertime, keeping it cool.
Oh,
Oh my God.
yes.
Heat management is just the worst,
The
man.
GoPro during runs during the summer, yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. See,
Like
it's almost like C chat. We need like a support group for IRL streamers.
do. I mean,
there should be.
we're meeting
We've
right
all
now.
got PTSD. I know.
Well, like with running, like I have to worry about sweat, and like I can't just have batteries in my pocket. I gotta like, you
Yeah.
know, I check the Ziploc bag to make sure it's not holy, so I can kind of seal it. Like it's just like sweating. It's not even like if it's raining, you know, like that's another wrench, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah. Like I've downsized to. I'm actually going to upsize. This is my run pack, and it's got the bladder, so I have to worry about carrying
nice,
that.
Dan. Yeah.
And like this is the harness with the. And I'm actually like the snap mounts because it doesn't go down enough. I've taken an extra one to kind of point it down a little bit, and yeah, like this is the nice one,
That's
but I'm getting a
awesome.
newer version of this that has a larger like compartment in the back.
Yep.
Because I need more room to carry like fluids and food with all these long runs.
Yeah.
So,
Which
but
is more weight.
yeah, like a pound of water is 8 pounds, you know, or or a gallon of water is 8 pounds, and it just
Yeah.
Mimi, just stop sweating so much. I wish. I wish. Like stop sweating and breathing so heavy. That would be.
Shayna said Tom's got way better at helping. It's true. Yeah, it used to be my thing. So
Yeah.
It was. And listen, Shayna, I realized, and she's, I'm trying to do some stuff, and I don't know, Dan, if you know this, we've moved over to Twitch at work.
Yeah.
Our streaming platform.
Yeah.
And so we've done about 6, 7 different things now. And Laura and I have had some pretty good conversations about what a good stream looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to do it. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
But
like we know how to do this.
Yeah. And so, you
just need someone besides the interns to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's not an intern job.
No.
Unless it can be, but you got to explain to them what their role is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's so much that goes into it, and there are days that like I want to take the GoPro and just chuck it, and I'm like, no, that costs a lot of money. Like there's just like Kelly, there was a time, a year and a half, there was the summer that the falls started, that I had all those random falls. It was back when people were getting like hate rated and stuff. Well, I tried to set up. I decided at 5 a.m. before a 7 a.m. 12 miler was the best time to set up my bot. I used Mix It Up bot to have it. It was supposed to ban just the hate raiders. I started the stream and it started banning everyone.
Everybody.
And I'm at the forest preserve starting. Kelly dropped me off, and I call her panicked. I'm like, I need you to go home and get on my computer because you're gonna have like she's not a computer person, and like we had to walk her through how to undo what I did with the bot, and then we had to unban one person. So like I'm literally running, and she's like working through with one of my mods. They're laughing about it, like this is the greatest thing ever. Like don't ever do this, Dan. I'm like my bot went nuclear and just.
Wow.
So yeah, like Kelly's learned some tech stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
And like years ago, like when I was just doing the brewing, she would be like, "That's your thing. I'm not gonna, same kind of thing." Like nope, that's
well, and most of the time, like the tech stuff has typically been Tom because that's always been his world.
Yeah.
But the streaming stuff, I research this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I talk with people. There isn't a book on how to do this. And so a lot of the different software or how I've got things configured and what things do for what purpose. And Tom will try to troubleshoot it or help. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I know how this works.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he doesn't believe me, which sometimes I can get a little sensitive and find that insulting, but I get over it and realize that he's trying to help. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, he's starting to learn to at least respect that I know our situation here.
Yeah.
I put
Yeah.
it together. I've built the stuff like
IRL streamer. I'll be the video switcher in the garage streamer.
yeah, you're gonna have to set up whatever that Stream Deck thing is.
Yeah.
I was like, I
can't-
started looking at stuff online and I'm like, oh dude, I'm so overwhelmed. Like
It's a lot.
I need, and Tom knows that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it's just finding and acknowledging our
Yeah.
roles are different though. Like going into this, my role doing this is much different than the role that I've played in
Yeah.
some of our other projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Yep. Agreed. She's done a great job with her setup.
It's
works
cool.
for what we need. Yep.
Yeah.
She's done a great job.
I want to pick your brain too and like look my setup and just kind of like to get ideas. I like that we can have the collab and talk about it, you know? Like I was talking with Celti, like I added back in the map, the run map scene, because my problem with Garmin is every time you start a live activity, it gives a fresh, it's like a token. So it like gives you a fresh link every time. And it's hard. Like I haven't been able to teach the mods yet to remote into the computer, because you have to remote into the computer and change it in this computer. And it's just, I'm like, all right, well, how can I do this? And I was talking to Celti about it and he's like, well, this is what I do. I'm like, that's actually genius. I added the source in my intro scene behind the intro video and I launched the intro from this computer. So I'm already logged into it. I'm like, I'll start the live track now at home. I know that I have a mask set up over our, like a block radius, block or two, so I can start it, pause it. It'll send me the link in email and just copy it and paste. I'm like, that's genius. And it's like being able to collab like that. I love, talking things through. Like I love that Kanara's reached out to you. That's, like this GoPro is going to go to our friend Cool Runnings.
We should have, I really would love to see us all like get together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we can, I think collabing and even doing some regular stuff that maybe, you know what I mean? We just kind of get together and do Discord stuff is great.
Yeah.
But it would really be a cool thing to literally have a meetup, I think that would be an amazing, we could do an IRL streamer meetup.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so geeky. What do you say? Where's your GoPro going?
It's going to go to our friend Joe, Cool Runnings. He's a fitness and health guy, also a runner.
Oh yeah.
Like he's awesome. So we're going to send it to him. He's like, what do I owe you? I'm like, nothing. Like, I'm not going to use it. And he's like, and because I know he has like the 8. So like, I'm like, this will be an upgrade for him. And I'm going to give him the Media Mod lens, mainly because I want him, because he does running in marathons too. I'm like, I want you to stream him. So I'm gonna nudge him a little bit. Like,
help him.
Let's try to help him. Because like, it would be cool to see more people doing IRL content, like
it would.
So yeah. And he's like, can I help pay for shipping? I'm like, sure. Like, that'd be great. But like a get together, like I would love to get to TwitchCon at some point. Like my pipe dream is next year, but
so awesome.
And even just a meetup where we get some folks like Makawaka's close, like try to get some of us in the Midwest together.
Yeah,
would be fun.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty quick drive for us.
Yeah. Because he's down. I know he's downstate. He was like Champaign-ish, and that's my old stomping ground. So.
Yeah. Well, we're all within. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all within a day's. Half a day drive, even if we all just kind of went to the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe some year we'll have the bus done.
We will. We have to sell the house first.
So the house you're working on selling, and the bus, I haven't seen a bus stream in a while. How is it going with the bus?
I think you'll start seeing bus streams after the first of the year.
Okay.
It's empty. It's empty. It's got a floor. You know what I mean? We've spent some nights in it up at the property, which is great and fun. It's starting to build it out. I'm ready. Like I would love to build out the bed. Right now it's just a blow up mattress in the back.
Yeah.
And but building the frame for the bed, running the electricity, starting to do some
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there'll be lots of DIY projects that will start happening
Okay.
as soon as we sell the house, because that's where some of our money is going to come from to
Yeah.
pay for it. So
Yeah.
Excuse me.
All good.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna step back like this.
hydrate,
ask-
everybody.
My counselor's like, why do you have such a large water bottle? I'm like, this is not even the largest I have. It started, unfortunately, we used to do a thing we called it Drunk Craft, and it was 4 people. We drink beer, get drunk, and we play Minecraft together and do stupid things. And when Kelly was sick, I bought a gallon jug. I'm like, if I'm going to be at the hospital, a gallon jug. I drink a gallon a day. Great. Then I got smaller ones. I got a half gallon when she was in the hospital. I was like, a gallon's too heavy to carry. Half gallon, that's better. So this is 52 ounces. And if I drink 2, I'm off to a pretty good start in a day. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, hydration.
it's important.
What's that?
Can't read that one.
Oh, Shell?
Shell.
I appreciate Tom and Lala taking turns in keeping the kids in their spots.
I love it. I gotta fix that back command.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do this.
Shayna's like sounds like a mod nightmare having to get into someone else's computer.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah,
so
I thought about that. I'm like, our mods would probably rage.
yeah.
Well, Shayna, we're gonna move the we have a pretty good computer at home that we haven't used for streaming yet. We're gonna move that to the
Mhm.
property and probably start.
Well,
doing some stuff
yeah,
there.
but I use a cloud OBS right now.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I don't have anything at home really to manage.
Yeah.
The next thing will be to have something at home, just because I can control overlays and have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, I don't. That's one of the reasons why I don't have any of that stuff, because I really just use anti-scuff.
Yeah.
For the be right back screen and stuff. But
Yeah,
but so there's a lot of things I would like to learn from you about. Yeah, some of your on the go overlays that you're able to do.
I'd be happy to sit down and talk about it. Like, it's like running a server to be able to stream through my own computer. Like, it's free and it's pretty stable. The only thing that sucks is when like Comcast decides to do something. And we had a couple weeks ago, I was going for a run and I couldn't for the life of me get the stream phone to connect to the server. And I'm like, and I came home and I was sitting here in my run gear mad. And then I looked, I was like, for giggles, I was going to delete the software and reinstall it. So I found the YouTube thing. I'm like, wait, I looked, I was like, well, let's check my IP address. Sure enough, Comcast had changed it. I'm like, well, that would be why I can't connect. So fixed it. And we went on the run and streamed a little later in the morning. But yeah, like the overlays, like this version of the logo and the overlays were done, towards the end of that stream relationship that I had, in anticipation of having that hard talk. And then once it happened, I was like, I have to get them done now. So there was a bit of a scramble too. I was like, I got to be ready now. And there was a lot of asking like PTM and Nicole, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And
yeah, it's cool. It's
So-
cool. But then also having the data, I did it at one point when I was starting I got ahead of myself though, and it never really worked out very well.
Mhm.
But it's also hard to manage with Streamlabs. You know what I mean? Just Streamlabs mobile is just everything is hard to manage overlays on a phone. So
I upgraded my
There's
personal phone to it's like a mini tablet. So
oh wow.
that helps a little bit, but when you're like sweaty and stuff, it's hard. Like, so that's, I
Yeah.
try to like automate, like I tell the mods, like if the signal goes out, try a run refresh to, it basically turns the GoPro off,
Mhm.
turns it back on again in OBS. And then that usually fixes it. But
Yeah. There may be a lot of automation that
Yeah.
that we would have that I don't currently have.
We got somebody that will set up the whole server for us.
Nice. I love people like that.
Yeah.
that's awesome. One of the things I wanted to touch on, a couple things here I wanted to ask.
Are Are we done with the warm up?
We're yeah, we're done. We're gonna get into the main meat and potatoes here. No, we just kind of went. This is great. Like I've asked some of the questions. I've worked them in a little bit.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to ask, and if wanted to touch on it, if you're comfortable talking about it, Tom, is sobriety. Like you guys know that I think what day is it? It's the 10th. In 2 days, I'll hit 7 months. Which
congrats, man.
Thank you.
Congrats.
It actually it's Cool Runnings. Our friend Joe. We had a hard talk. I had the last time I drank was down picking up Kaylin from college. We went to there was a brewery, and they had what's called the Full Flight, and it's every beer they have on tap. It's in a little like glass.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you want to run and you want to lose weight, you got to it was a very. Joe was really good at having hard conversations or giving you tough love, but doing it in a compassionate way, like putting his arm around you kind of thing. And just like, look, I care, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop. And yeah. And I was originally going to do it just for the 5 months to get through my races. Then I broke my foot and I'm like, well, I'm not going to go back and drink because I like how I feel. I'm clear headed.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping better. I wanted to touch base and because your number is amazing. Like you shared that the other day, and I think it was Thanksgiving week, and I wanted to kind of talk about it and just kind of pick your brain, I guess. And
I mean, do you have any specific questions or
one? Would you share your how long it's been or how many days? Like if you don't know the exact day, like a ballpark, and then
I do know
you pull the app up. You're pulling the app up. No.
Make it hard for me to find. So I am 9.81 years. We lost him.
Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
I can hear you.
Yep.
We just can't see you.
Oh, my camera decided to poop out, I guess. Sorry about that. Let me try. Wait a minute. Hey, Discord restarted. Discord. Sorry about that.
Hey.
All right. So can you go back? I missed the length. Can you show that again?
9.81 years. 117.83 months. 3,587 days. 86,083 hours.
That's amazing. Like, do you like? I find like people say it gets easier. Like, is it easy now? Like,
it's a for me, it's a. I actually work, and I'll be totally transparent with everybody that I don't know how many people are watching, but I'll be totally transparent. I work I'm a full-blown alcoholic, and so I work a recovery program, a 12-step spiritually based program for me. It's a God of my understanding. And if anybody, I'm just gonna tell you, anybody in chat, if you want to have more conversation, message me in Discord or on Twitch, and I'll gladly talk to you. But my, yeah, the question was, does it get easier? Dan, when I quit drinking, I was ready. I was ready to quit. You hear a term called sick and tired?
Yeah.
I was sick and tired, and Laura and I had a nice heart to heart, and she was away on a trip, and when she came back, I had made a call to get into recovery, and I was supposed to go like on the 15th of February. That's my sober date. That's the first day I went without drinking. Probably the first day I went without drinking in 10 years, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And so, and I couldn't get into the recovery center because we had snow and ice so bad that the roads were closed.
Oh.
And so I sat at the dining room table and taught myself how to use SketchUp, and drew plans for a shed and a bathroom, and did that for 3 days, and then I finally called the lady and said, "Hey, I think I don't need to come to the recovery center anymore. I got this licked." And she gave me some words of advice.
Yeah.
And she said, "Have you tried this before?" And I said, oh yeah, I've quit drinking for 3 days before. She goes, yeah, why don't you, if you can get here, why don't you come in the morning?
Okay.
And I went, and but it was so that that was the hardest part of becoming sober, was making the decision that I was ready.
Yeah. I
You know
think
what I
that
mean?
was my, like, accepting, like, you know what, he's like, because I got mad. I'll be honest, when Joe reached out, I was mad, and I was like, you know what, wait, no, he's right. I thought about it, and I think you're right, like, accepting it, like, you know what, I do, this runs in my family, and I love my aunt. She is in rehab now. She actually just got a rehab. She's in a house now. uh um and
Like a sober living.
yeah, yeah. So, like, I'm proud of her, and, like, it runs in her family, and she, admitted it, and then so she and I have been talking a lot the last
That's
couple
cool.
of weeks. But I wanted, you can get Lala, if you want to check chat there. I did a little thing. Just, I know you said not to, but I did it. Um, it's inspiring. Like, talking to you and to Colin, and like, Colin reached out right away, and um, it's
Oh, Dan. Mile 10 is dedicated to Papa Tom for 10 years of sobriety.
so
And to me.
it's
Super inspiring.
you both,
amazing people. Thank you, Dan.
you guys are, and no,
That is incredible.
I'm probably gonna reach out to him, if that's okay, to kind of talk in Discord more, because
Yeah.
like, it's hard days, easy days, I guess, but
Yeah. Let me finish answering the question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Get easier.
It doesn't necessarily get easier,
Mhm.
Dan, and that's not to scare you to say that you have to be angry about it. There are triggers
Yeah.
that you become aware. I went through, I would say, during COVID, in that time frame, there was a period of time, Dan, that I went,
Mhm.
I don't know if I went a couple of years, but I went long periods of time with not talking to anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and I have to have a constant reminder for me to be a better me,
Yeah.
It's important. It There are days that it's hard.
Yeah.
But again, what is hard? What is hard, Dan? What is hard? I just need not drink today.
Yeah. It
And
very much is a day at a time thing. Yeah.
yeah. And so, but then there are times that I go months without thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's certain things,
Mhm.
cold weather, bonfires, snow. There's certain things that really trigger, and that stems back to my high school years.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't start drinking when I was 26. I started drinking when I was 16.
Okay.
So very, very much in my family as well,
Yeah.
and the culture.
The
Yeah.
trigger thing, like, I realized, like, well, Thanksgiving, I realized it was my first sober Thanksgiving as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Congrats.
Oh, congrats.
Like, I was like, this is so, I
That's a
remember
big
talking,
deal.
like, my sister was here and Kelly was here. I was like, this is weird. Like, it's kind of, like, it's different. But then, like, Kelly and I talk, so we go to Door County, Wisconsin, the little thumb of Wisconsin, and we've gone since we started dating. And one of the things that we have done every year was we'd go out drinking wine, drinking beer, hanging out, and just getting, we get drunk. And this year we took Penny with. We've had some things happen. Penny's with us now. And we're like, look, we want to go, but we don't leave Penny alone. Like, let's go for a long weekend. And, like, it was the first trip up to Door County again as an adult, where I'm like, we were out for dinner, and, like, it was the first time I had an NA beer. And I was like, I've been worried about trying even that, like, is that gonna, like, is the taste gonna, like, get me hooked? Like, we've cut down. I have 3 cases of beer in the closet behind the dog crate that I need to give away. The kegerator is going to a new home. Like, I just kind of limiting those triggers. But, like, when we were up there, like, it was hard. Like, it was hard and reaffirmed the choice, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it was a different trip, and, like, it's still fun to go, and I still love going up there. It's beautiful. And, like, I think what helped is we went up into peak fall colors, so it was just
Yeah.
pretty to look at.
Yeah.
So
I think you just need to, for me, it's just you can still do this. You can still do the same things,
mhm.
and you just do them a little bit differently, and sometimes sometimes for me, you
Mhm.
you kind of just suck it up, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you use that strength,
Mhm.
to get through it. And then when you get done, you're like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, the NA beer thing, I waited a long time to try it.
Yeah.
And the first couple of times I had it, I'll have one now and again,
Mhm.
but it's not my go-to,
Yeah.
But
Like
there are times that I do want it. Like if I'm watching, Packer football, I wish there was a frickin' Miller Lite NA. I don't think there is, but that might
I
actually be a trigger for me.
fair. And like I think like one of the things I talked about PTM was we did an episode of the podcast, and I can't remember. I think we talked about it a little bit on the episode, but we've talked in text. And I think one of the things I miss about beer is the social part, and that's like
Yep.
NA beer seems interesting, and I think I've talked about like because everybody's like, are you done brewing? I'm like, I don't know. I think for now, I think once that
Yep.
I feel confident that I can not get triggered by it, maybe I'll come back. But I like the idea of like trying to brew NA beer. Like that seems like I can brew a beer and I can make it that it tastes good and it's going to mess you up because it's going to be strong. I want to see if I can get good at making it taste good and then being able to make it with that advanced, like you're either going to cook it down to boil off the alcohol or you're going to do it where you don't need to ferment it. And that's the next challenge. Like that's like to me, like I've started to kind of think about it. Like that's the next, that's the next step. So
Yeah,
Well,
craft NAs is a huge thing now.
yeah.
I mean, more and more people are not drinking or limiting their drinking
Mm-hmm.
or, whatever it is. And NAs are becoming more popular
Yeah.
for just even mainstream, whether you've decided to be sober or just,
Yeah.
limiting or I'm a drunk, I'm the designated driver tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And did we lose him again?
I think.
Yeah, it rebooted again. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Discord is like, I'm gonna keep my camera.
One of the things I know for Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I know one of the things can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna keep my camera off
Okay.
because I think that might be what's doing it. So
Yeah,
if you guys
no,
are
that's
okay
fine.
with that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So you can kind of see him here. We're
Yeah.
just a little bit delayed, but at least you
Okay.
can see his face.
Okay.
I think one of the things for Tom that when he first stopped drinking,
Mhm.
and it was kind of a fear, and he spoke it, was, that things weren't going to be fun and you couldn't have any fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was, and you're very much I think that big personality, just, you know what I mean? The life of the
Mhm.
party guy, especially when you're brewing and stuff and all that too. But, it took a little bit, but when Tom would finally say yes to going to some of the things,
Mhm.
One was the okay, and I understood we had an agreement that, if he felt uncomfortable or just started feeling, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little triggered here or whatever,
Yeah.
that there was always an out and that I was always okay with leaving. And,
Yeah.
And that's just been an agreement. But one of the things is that I made sure to share with him, because a lot of people, when they found out that he stopped drinking,
Mhm.
were just like, why? You're so much fun when you drink. That's not helpful.
Yeah.
So if don't say that to people,
Yeah.
because, he was fun and he still is fun.
Yeah.
And it was once he found out that he could still be the life of the party and that folks still thought he was awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
he got a little more comfortable again with being sober in social situations
Okay.
and
Yeah.
less, but it was more about that identity And I think it's harder for the guys who are like the fun guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you were a drinker, you know, that got associated with it. The thing is, you're still a fun guy.
Yeah.
You're still, you know, still can be the
Yeah.
life of the party.
And
I-
Dan, one of the things that comes with it, should you choose, you know, if you decide to choose that as a lifestyle, one of the things, I
Mhm.
just got a phone call from a guy that I met. This has happened a couple of times. I just got a
Mhm.
phone call from a guy that I met that worked for a partner company,
Mhm.
and he had asked me a couple of questions, and I don't ever really shy away from it.
Mhm.
But he had asked me a couple of questions. He called me. Um, I ran into him, and he just came over and he kind of whispered in my ear, and he said, "I'm 5 months sober," and he said, "I want to thank you for just sharing your story with me, and I think you're a cool guy." And I said, "Well, if he's sober and he's that cool, I can do it as well." And he just called me recently, and he'll be a year.
That's
And
awesome.
you know, and you don't realize how um you can make it, you can make impacts there
Yeah.
as well. So
I am not gonna drink again. Like this is I've made the choice. Like I
yeah,
hit that point this summer and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with this. Like
yeah,
I sleep better. I just like people like like my uncle was like, have you lost weight? I'm like, no, not really, but that's not necessarily just because of the alcohol. Like, there's other factors there, but like I'm sleeping better. I can think clearer. My running is better.
yeah.
It's the choice for me,
I
and
Mhm.
definitely sleep. I definitely the positives. I sleep better.
Mhm.
I am. I thought I was less stressed. I definitely feel better. And I crave sugar.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I love cookies. Clab is still here. I love cookies. Oh my God.
I am a sucker for like a trail mix, like a nice trail mix, or
Yep.
or cookies as well, or pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sugar. Yeah, It's just-
Or just in general food.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
I
that's
mean,
why I run is because I love carbs so much. Like
the joke about my Pepsi, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing and
yeah, no problem.
I I'm
And
I,
I'm
I'm
and I'm available. I'm
okay.
available anytime if you want to chat.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to. I'm glad we kind of that was one thing for sure in this list. I wanted to make sure we kind of touched on just to
And
kind of
and it's
talk.
an honor to be your Mile 10. I'm not worthy, so thank you.
yeah,
Look,
that's yeah.
I dedicate the miles to it's not just to people who have lost their lives to cancer or who fight. Like it's people that inspire me and motivate me, and you guys are two of those people. Like
Mm,
Ditto, Dan.
it's one of those things. Like that list is it's a shout out for people because I love and respect them, but it also keeps me going. Like it's you know so yeah.
cool.
So thanks for letting me put you on there. I know
Yeah.
you said no, and I kind of, I kind of did it
No.
without consent. I realized, but no, I figured it would be okay. Like once we kind of chatted about it some more, like, like I felt bad like doing it on stream, like you guys were streaming and
Yeah.
stuff. So like I wanted to just kind of talk, yeah.
It's
So
all great.
No,
It's to us. So
that
yeah,
it really does.
yeah,
It means a lot.
yeah,
Because you just need to know that you are inspirational. I
yeah,
have been watching you for a few years doing hard things, and there have been a number of times where I have found motivation in watching you do hard things and recovering from hard moments
oh yeah,
and being authentic and real. And I have gleaned some of what I've been able to do on stream, which has been so empowering for me to be able to just be real and
mhm.
not to be just always the strong one, and just to be able to, do you know what I mean, have real conversation and just be the weak me, if the weak me is what shows up today.
Yeah,
Or the more vulnerable me. And yeah, i I gleaned a lot of that from the courage that you've shown on stream. So
thanks.
you
I
it's a big deal.
I'm working in
What you
therapy
do.
on accepting compliments and thank you. And today, my counseling today, and it's one of the things we talked about. Like, I've talked about it on run streams, like especially after like disappointment. Like, I'm really good at picking myself back up, like in those challenging times. Like I don't,
Hmm.
even like with the weight gain. Like like last week, I admitted that I've gained basically all the weight that I lost when Kelly was sick, when Kelly got sick, and I am
Yep.
mad at myself. And I felt like, there's that exhaustion too, like losing weight or trying to be sober or trying to run. It's exhausting because it's
Hmm.
hard. And I was like, I don't know if I can do it again. And I was talking to Cool Runnings and PTM, um, and I think Nicole a little bit too, and Kelly. And like Kelly's like, you can do it again. I'm like, I guess, like it's just. But I think it's one of the things I try to do is like you can be vulnerable, and like you're not going to be the fastest or the best version of you. There's going to be days where you're going to have to take a knee, and like it's kind of like my outlook on life is like we move forward together. Like our intro song is the song "We Move Forward" by The Midnight,
Hmm.
and that's kind of our motto is like we're going to move forward together. And some days I'll be the strong one, you lean on me. Some days I'm going to have to lean on you, and that's kind of what we do.
Yep.
And
Well, and another thing from, your running, and it is a way that when I'm trying to make changes in my life, we talked a little bit about it even before stream,
Mhm,
going, having I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go all in, and it's
mhm,
all or nothing, and just
mhm,
that's kind of the way I've run my life.
mhm.
Um and but a little bit of the reflection on what I saw in your running and learned a little bit more when you were training for marathons are the little changes. I'm going to add in one more small thing.
Mhm.
A little farther, not the whole race, just a little farther, and you
Yes.
build the stamina.
Mhm.
That thing becomes easy, and then you add in the next thing.
Mhm.
I think it's whenever I'm trying to make those changes in my life, whether it be, working out or nutrition or starting a new project or learning something new, I usually just try to go, you know what? I'm going to make this one small change. Just
Yeah.
this one small thing. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be all wholly horrible.
Yes.
And, it's how we got into now our habit of eating oatmeal and berries for breakfast in the morning during the week,
Mhm.
Yep.
because oatmeal is great for stress. Oatmeal is great for cholesterol. It's actually just really good metabolism,
Mhm.
anti-inflammatories for berries, things like that. It's a great way to start your day. I hate oatmeal. I used to hate oatmeal. I actually don't hate oatmeal now because it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But rather than changing everything about my diet into all everything, I started with that one thing. And I'm
Yeah.
just going to do this during the week. On the weekends, I give myself a break. And next thing you know, it's now part of our regular routine and it's easy to do.
I
And
love
then
it.
added in a little bit more. Then we started having salads at lunch,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like going whole hog. I just feel like anything that's going to be sustained, if you added in an incremental changes, you build the stamina, you build it into your daily life, and one small thing at a time. And
Mhm.
it's amazing how I think far you can progress if you just do the little bit at a time and don't
It's
expect perfection right out the gate.
it's that what the cliche, right? Like how do you eat an elephant? Bite at a
One
time.
bite
And
at a
it's
time.
like how do you change the world? It's doing small things. It's holding a door open for someone.
Hmm.
It's smiling. It's saying good
Yeah.
morning. It's like the guy on Thanksgiving
Absolutely.
and we did our walk and I had a coffee. He was walking with his wife and had a coffee. He's like, "Hey, cheers, happy Thanksgiving." And I'm like, "Oh, it made my day." I'm like, it's put good out in the
Yeah.
world and you
Yep.
know and just it's the little things. And yeah, like any goal, like it's how you break it down. Like I have my goals written for the year. My handwriting's atrocious, so I'm sorry, but it's the 4 races, and then for 2026, it's a 10th marathon for my birthday for turning 50,
That's awesome.
There you go.
and then
So
probably a
awesome.
50 miler that year. So
Yeah. And you know what?
My God.
You've got everything you need to do it.
Yep. It's that, like I talked in therapy today. It's that I know what I need to do. It's being consistent and making those small changes and seeing it through. I'm really good at organizing and planning, and I'm going to use those powers, to get on top of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Looking forward to being part of it. Yep.
I want to say thank you to you guys. I want to kind of start to wrap up because I'm going to help get the dogs out and stuff, and we've had a good couple hours here, but I wanted to first just say thank you both for coming on and hanging out and doing this. And anytime you guys want to come back on, just message and say, hey, let's record
anytime
again.
anytime you wanna, I would welcome to do this, whenever you're up
We should
for
do
doing
it.
it
We
again.
should. We
I
should.
love it.
We should do a check-in in a few months for sure.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
No, thanks for just hanging. This has
Always.
I really enjoyed
Good.
enjoyed this time with you.
What I want to do, like, kind of like if you've ever seen that show Hot Ones, that YouTube show with the guy and they eat the wings, and
Yeah.
I want to give you guys kind of the cool down. Now, and again, another running pun. Give you guys a couple minutes just to kind of share like final thoughts with the group, like where we can find you, what you got going on, like what you have coming up, like anything you guys want to just kind of give you the floor before we kind of wrap up and stuff. But I wanted to kind of
Yeah. I kind of feel like we've been stuck for the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
I've been off stream a lot because I've been just trying to finish up the house. We're gonna get that fire truck sold. And and hopefully what'll happen is for you guys, you'll see us start making progress on the dream. And
Okay.
so
And the things we started.
it just feels like we're a little bit stuck right now, but look, there's Christmas lights on the boat. Life does not suck.
Nah.
I like it.
So
We're living on a boat.
I'm grateful today.
We've
for sure.
we've got a lot of raw materials that now we're just waiting. When I left my job in August, we got rid of 60% of our income.
Mhm.
So we're, once we sell the house, we will pay off everything and we will literally be debt free. That'll be the first time in our entire life that we
I love it.
have no debt. And we will be able to live on what we'll figure out whether it's, we make some other changes as far as
Right.
career wise, where we're living, what we're doing. We'll be living within our means. And we're still going to be able to do a lot. We're going to finish the bus. We are definitely going to take a trip. One of the things that I was just talking with, this is something new, and I will share it on your stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. It'll be Tom is going to be in his career for a little while longer. Make sure that we can still hold everything together that we need to. Neither one of us is pulling Social Security or any other retirement right now. So it's I've got a very small pension that basically pays for our insurance, and that's about it. So we still have to be scrappy to get by.
Yeah.
And we can do that. So Tom is going to stay working. One of the adventures that are my friend Debbie, who is the one who is helping us sell our house. Folks have seen her. We went on a kayaking trip with Debbie. Anyway, she had a bucket list trip that she was going to go on, and the friend that she was going to take, she said fell in love. So she's not going now. And so she asked me if I wanted to go with her. It is a 9-day circle road trip around Iceland.
Ooh.
And she and I are going, when we sell the house and we get our shit together. So this could be this will be in this next coming year. We are going to take a 9-day trip around Iceland, and she is fine with us streaming it. So it's going to be more like a Thelma and Louise, get in a car and go explore flipping Iceland.
That's awesome. Oh, that'll be fun.
And it's possible that you'll see her make more appearances on stream, and we'll see Thelma and Louise doing road trips together in the pickup truck.
There's some other
adventures that are going to happen.
She wants to be a travel buddy. So while
it.
Tom might be held up with holding down the fort,
Yeah.
I'm going to have some opportunities to do some more travel streams, and
I
that's
love
kind of
it.
going to be that's next year's expansion. So I'm
Okay.
excited.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at a Nashville race potentially too for 26. So I'm just gonna. I know we talked about that one a couple years ago. So
Yep.
as we're looking ahead, anyway. No,
Well, and you don't need to wait that long, Dan. If you
I
guys
know.
ever just want to come down, we've got La La Land. You guys can come down for a camping weekend. We'll have places to
Okay.
stay and things like that, and bring the family. We'd love to have you.
And likewise, you guys come to Chicago. We've got a guest room and we got spots out front. If you bring you bring the bus, like whatever, like we've got room too. So
Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome.
all right. Well,
Love
everyone
it.
watching, I want to say thank you for hanging out with us as we're doing the episode of the Runaround. For Lala and Papa Tom, I'm Run Dan Run, and we just gave you the Runaround. All right, so I'm
And
gonna
we
go.
ran around.
We did. So I'm gonna go